Welcome back, everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive into a novel you may have heard of. It's Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Yeah.
And it follows tennis icon Carrie Soto,
Mm-hmm.
who decided to come out of retirement to reclaim her legacy. So to set the stage, let's head back to 1994.
Okay.
Carrie's been retired since 1989
Right?
and has been enjoying life away from the court, but she sees this rising star, Nikki Chan.
Yep.
Who is on the verge of tying her record of 20 Grand Slam titles.
That's got to sting a little.
I think so, especially for
Yes.
someone like Carrie Soto. Right?
Yeah. So this is where we see Carrie make that decision to return, a decision that is fueled by both ambition,
Okay.
but also this, I think, very human fear of fading into irrelevance. This is something a lot of people can relate to.
Oh, absolutely. That fear of being forgotten is something I think resonates with a lot of us, right? Like, it really makes you question what drives you,
Yeah.
what you're willing to fight for,
Yeah.
and how you define success. So to really understand Carrie's drive, we need to go back to her childhood,
Right.
which was heavily shaped by Javier's really intense coaching style.
Definitely. And also the loss of her mother when she was quite young.
Yeah, that's a huge part of the story. Javier, driven by his own grief and ambitions, basically molded Carrie into this champion.
Mm-hmm.
But it came at a pretty steep price.
Definitely.
And one of the things that Carrie Soto is Back does really well is that it doesn't shy away from portraying Carrie's, well, some might call it ruthless, persona.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, her signature slice technique is described as sharp and precise.
Totally.
And I think that really mirrors her personality on and off the court.
I totally agree. And that kind of begs the question about, does ambition, especially in a field as cutthroat as professional tennis, require a certain level of ruthlessness?
It's a good question. And the book really doesn't give you an easy answer.
It doesn't. Right.
But it makes you think about the sacrifices.
Yeah.
And the choices people make when striving for that kind of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, her comeback trail is far from easy. Like, her training with her new coach, Lars, is really intense.
Definitely.
And it highlights those physical and mental challenges of, getting back into the game after being away for so long.
Yeah. I mean, the book does a really good job of portraying that grueling training regimen,
Yeah.
pushing past perceived limitations, and just the constant need to adapt
Right.
and evolve. And I think that resonates with anyone who's ever pushed themselves to achieve something difficult.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good reminder that growth often comes with a good amount of discomfort.
For sure.
And, it wasn't just the training that was tough. Finding practice partners proved to be incredibly difficult for her.
It did. The tennis world, even though they respected her legacy, viewed her comeback with a mixture of, I think, admiration and skepticism.
Yeah, I can see that. It's almost like they weren't sure what to make of her return.
Exactly. Some saw her as a threat. Others questioned her motives. And it really made you think about how society often reacts to women who, dare to defy expectations.
Right.
Especially in male-dominated fields.
Absolutely. And then there's Bo Huntley,
Right.
a fellow tennis player,
Yeah.
who becomes her training partner. Their relationship is definitely complicated.
Complicated is a good word.
It moves beyond just the court,
For sure.
adding this whole other layer of emotional complexity to Carrie's journey.
He challenges her,
Oh, yeah.
Bo represents a challenge to this kind of hardened exterior that Carrie's built up over the years.
Mm-hmm.
He sees her vulnerability. He sees the woman beneath all that armor
Yeah.
built through all those years of competition. And I think that forces Carrie to confront parts of herself that she's kind of suppressed for a long time.
For sure. Now, we can't talk about Carrie Soto
Right.
without talking about her rivalry with Nikki Chan.
Absolutely.
They're just so different in their personalities and their approaches to the game.
They are. Nikki, with her grace and it's natural talent,
Yeah.
versus Carrie with that relentless drive and precision.
I mean, their rivalry goes beyond just winning matches. It's like a clash of philosophy.
I see that.
It makes you question how we measure success, especially for female athletes who often face pressure to conform to certain ideals. And what I find interesting is that Nikki actually admires Carrie.
Wow.
Even though they're rivals,
Yeah.
it adds this really cool layer to their dynamic.
It does. And this rivalry really comes to a head during the French Open in Wimbledon.
Yep.
Where Carrie faces not only fierce opponents, but also
Right.
the realities of aging and her own internal struggles.
Totally.
These tournaments are definitely a turning point in this story. Her emotional turmoil,
Yeah.
which is already pretty high, gets amplified because her father's health is declining.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And it forces her to confront her own mortality and the fact that, time is fleeting. Then at Wimbledon,
Yeah.
she wins.
Right.
Which is amazing.
It is. She becomes the oldest woman to ever win the tournament.
Mm.
But it's a bittersweet victory
Absolutely.
because her father passes away shortly after.
Yeah, it really makes you think about the cost of ambition
Yeah.
and what truly matters in life. It's a good reminder that life is full of complexities, even when you're achieving great things.
Okay, so we've talked about Carrie's intense drive,
Yeah.
the challenges she's facing, and the complicated relationships that are shaping her comeback. Now let's get into the U.S. Open, where her rivalry with Nikki Chan really comes to a head.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, the U.S. Open is like the ultimate test for Carrie, right? She's not only facing Nikki, who at this point is at the top of her game, but she's also dealing with the grief of losing her father.
Yeah.
And the weight of everyone's expectations.
Absolutely. I think the book does such a great job of capturing that
It does.
inner turmoil that she's going through. She wants to win so badly.
Yeah.
But her dad, who was her driving force for her entire life, is no longer there.
It's like, can she even find the will to compete at that level without him?
It's a huge question, and I think that's what makes the U.S. Open section so compelling. It's not just about the championship. It's about her soul, basically.
It is. It's a battle for her soul.
Yeah, and the descriptions of the matches, they're so vivid.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like you're right there on the court with her.
Absolutely.
Experiencing the tension and, the pressure building.
Yeah.
With every single point.
Totally. You're right there with her, feeling her doubts and her frustrations, but also, that incredible determination.
And what I found really interesting is how the matches are used to highlight.
Oh, yeah.
The contrast between Carrie and Nikki's playing style.
Totally. Like Nikki's grace and this almost like a freedom on the court.
Yes.
Stands in such stark contrast to Carrie's very measured,
right.
precision.
It's almost as if Nikki embodies a love for the game. That Carrie, because she's so focused on winning, kind of lost sight of.
I think you're right.
And their final match.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't want to give any spoilers, but it's intense.
It's so good.
It's back and forth. It goes to a tiebreaker in the third set.
Yeah.
It's just a testament to both their skill and resilience.
It really is. And, the outcome of the match, I think, is both unexpected and really satisfying.
I agree.
It really makes you think about what it means to be a champion.
Yeah. Carrie's whole journey, it forces you to confront, what your own definition of success is.
It does.
Is it just reaching the top? Or is it something more than that?
Right. Is there a deeper meaning to be found in the pursuit itself?
And the book really doesn't give you easy answers, but definitely makes you think about your own ambitions.
It does.
And the sacrifices you're willing to make to achieve them. And I think it suggests that true fulfillment might actually come from finding that balance between striving for excellence, but also embracing the whole journey.
Absolutely.
With all its imperfections and unexpected twists and turns.
I mean, Carrie Soto's Back is a story about so many things.
Yeah.
Ambition, loss, resilience, and ultimately, I think, self-discovery.
Yeah.
It makes you question what truly matters in life.
Absolutely.
And how you define your own legacy.
It's a story that stays with you. Okay, so we left off with Carrie and Nikki at the U.S. Open final, right? This is it. The match to determine who is the best.
It is. And it really becomes more than just a tennis match at this point.
Yeah.
It's symbolic of their journeys, how different they are.
I see that.
How they've both grown.
And the tension is just palpable as the match goes on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You're just waiting to see, is Carrie going to pull it off?
Right. Is this the comeback everyone's waiting for?
Yeah. Is she going to reclaim her spot at the top, or is Nikki going to start this new chapter in women's tennis?
And the book does something really interesting here. It kind of flips everything we think we know about what a comeback story should look like.
I think so, too.
Yeah. It makes you rethink what it means to succeed and fail.
Because Carrie doesn't win.
Right. She loses.
Yeah, she comes up short
But it's not a simple loss.
Oh, definitely not.
It's like in that moment, something changes for her.
It does.
Yeah.
Like a weight has been lifted.
Yeah, she finally lets go of this need to be the best that's been driving her for, her whole life.
Basically. And the book doesn't end with her on top of the podium like you'd expect, but it ends with her finding this sense of peace and self-acceptance.
Totally. She's surrounded by people who care about her.
Yeah, and she seems genuinely happy.
And that's the thing. Sometimes the biggest win is letting go of the need to win.
That's deep. I like that.
It's about being content with who you are.
Finding fulfillment in those connections, learning from your experiences, and how you grow from those.
I think Carrie Soto is back leaves you with a sense of hope.
I think so too.
That even when things don't go as planned, there's still a chance for something good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about your own life, like what your ambitions are,
right.
your relationships, how you want to be remembered.
If you're looking for a book that, really gets you thinking and makes you question things, this is the one.
Carrie Soto is back is definitely a must-read. If you want to pick up a copy, we have a link in the show notes. And don't forget to subscribe to The Deep Dive.
Yes.
For more deep dives like this one. Thanks for listening, everyone.